things because I should do something here. I think it's really fun that both sides got together. It was a fair debate, in my opinion. I think you guys did well, and I think we all
40 minutes, maybe a little less than that, which will cut into some of Mike's time, but then he'll have about 40 minutes that he'll essentially have the floor and people can address questions to him. So if anybody wants to raise a topic, we'll see what we know about it. Otherwise, either MJ or I have just a few other things that we'll, I know Dan would speak, have a few things that we can give in terms of further exposition. So let's go with Dan. He has a question.
All right, I have a question. Has anybody in this room ever held a copy of The Origin of Species in their hand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, when was your copy published? You know, I mean, about
I have no idea.
1859 was the original. Okay, I'll pass these around so you guys can take a look at them, but see how many for the front table? We have 3. Okay, and I'm sorry, Gene, to break the time here, but I gotta hit Mike too. On this
Thank you.
This is, I pulled this off the internet, but having been there before and having written a pro-evolution report while I was in college, we're talking 40 years ago, that got B on, by the way. Anyway, I actually had the quote that's a key quote on this page in that report. But the opening passage, the opening page, title page, is about what's in the box there. And in the introduction, on his very first page of text, page Roman numeral 3, Darwin quotes Sir Francis Bacon. And Mike alluded to Sir Francis Bacon. Sir Francis Bacon said, "To conclude, therefore, let no man out of a weak conceit of sobriety or ill-applied moderation think or maintain that a man can search too far or be too well studied in the book of God's Word or in the book of God's works, divinity or philosophy, but rather let men endeavor in endless progress or proficience in both." I actually paraphrased that once and ended up with a young lady taking my paraphrase and making me a wall plaque that I have at home. It says, "He who ignores God's word or God's work is a fool." And that's what Bacon was saying. Okay, who was Bacon? Bacon, as Mike graciously pointed out, was the father of the scientific method. And we have scientists today who say, "No, the creationists are wrong, the creationists are wrong, the creationists are wrong," to keep pushing it aside. But in actuality, and there's a copy over here on the table, if you take Genesis and lay it alongside Genesis 1 and lay it alongside the general outline of creation of the way evolutionists think the cosmos and life on Earth was created, they end up being almost exactly the same. So you waste your time arguing about this. You should be working together in academia.
I absolutely agree.
You should have both courses being taught in grade school, and not from the religious point of view, but both courses being taught in grade school. The Bible as a history book and of how the world was viewed 6,000 years ago. Because one of the questions that you really have is that, according to the politically correct logic of 2006, it would seem that Darwinian evolution, and indeed even the scientific method itself, can be considered the products of a couple of religious fanatics.
May I speak to that? Yeah, I heartily agree with you, and that's one of the points I was trying to make. That and this is what this book is all about by the evangelical Christian geologist who is deploring the activity of anti-evolutionists who want to make people choose between the two. There is a statement by Dwayne Gish who somewhere says that I copied it down because I was so struck by it, that he said the same thing essentially millions of times, or millions, well, maybe dozens, that evolution is inherently an atheistical theory. But this time he put it in the words that it makes God unnecessary to explain the events of evolution. God is unnecessary and therefore excluded. And I thought, oh, what a dreary world he must live in if he excludes God from anything that does not have an active miracle in it. And of course, all science strives to explain natural processes in natural ways. And that doesn't really have anything to do with God. It's what science does. Science is not claiming to be the only source of information. Yeah, Dan.
I would protest in a major way, one of the things that you said. I don't think it's the anti-evolutionists that are blocking. I think the Scopes trial is being reversed. The roles have been reversed as far as the Scopes trial. It used to be that evolution was kept out of the schools by bigoted religion. Today is creationism and what I call not intelligent design, but intelligent intervention is being kept as a point of discussion, because I can come up with at least 4 or 5, just off the top of the head, different scenarios that will explain all the facts of evolution and that don't necessarily involve a God. Okay, and you can sit down and do it. The science fiction writers do it every day. Okay, in fact, one of the major principal searches in science fiction is they're looking for God. They're trying to define who he is. Okay, and we're talking about major stories, major films, that if you look at the underlying thing that they're looking for, all of Asimov's Foundation series was looking for God. It ended up being a robot.